today we're going to be doing Instagram followers blindly choose my April TBR. If you follow me on Instagram, then you will have seen that a couple of days ago I posted a few stories with book covers covered up and some emojis that related to those books. I started off strong and then it got really difficult to find emojis that related either to the book title or the book itself, so it got a little bit confusing towards the end, but I posted those a couple of days ago and then went and screenshotted the results. So I thought we would go through today obviously what books were all on that list and then which books were picked. So it was quite close with a lot of them, like a lot of it was like 40 something and 50 something percent, so it was quite close. But yeah, we're going to run through all of those, but let's start by running through all of the books that were included in this TBR. I kind of just went off what I was in the mood to read and tried to find a range of books, so some fiction, some fantasy, some romance, some mystery. So I tried to pick a bit of a range of books and then pair them up, so mystery and mystery, fantasy and fantasy, romance and romance. But you will see as we go through the video, it will hopefully make a little bit more sense. But let's run through all the books that were included in the TBR. We had Welcome to Fairy Cafe, then also had Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairy, at Night by Claire Daveley, and How to Fall Out of Love Madly, Anxious People and A Man Called Over. We had Just for the Summer and The X-Files by Jessica Joy, Never Lie by Freida McFadden and The Only One Left by Riley Sager, and Legendary, which is the second book in the Carvel series, and then Throne of Glass. I paired each of those books up and then posted them onto my stories, asked you guys to vote on which one. Obviously you didn't know which book was underneath, basically picked my TBR that way. So let's run through the pairs and which one won out of those. First pair that we had was Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies and Welcome to Fairy Cafe, both cozy fantasies. They're not very high stakes, I don't think. I mean, I don't know about this one actually because they are assassins undercover, but I think as cafe owners, so it just kind of sounds like a cozy fantasy. I don't know too much about this one, but I thought these ones matched up quite nicely. Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies ended up getting 46% and Welcome to Fairy Cafe ended up getting 54%. Welcome to Fairy Cafe is going to be our first book on the TBR. From what I gathered on the back, they are deadly assassins who come to the human realm to hunt down a specific person. They then have to go undercover, and I think they basically go undercover as cafe owners, but I'm not too sure. It sounds a little bit high stakes because they're assassins, but then it also just sounds like a cozy fantasy as well because Fairy Cafe. So I'll feedback, I'll try and read this in a reading vlog and then I'll feedback on whether it is high stakes or not. But yeah, it just sounds really adorable. Then we had kind of two emotional fiction. I don't really know what to class them as, but it's Talking at Night and How to Fall Out of Love Madly because they both kind of give off the same vibe in my mind. So How to Fall Out of Love Madly is about, I think it's about three friends who are going through some struggles in romantic relationships and they basically have to overcome those struggles, but it's more about not their romantic relationships but those themselves as people. I think it's a bit more of like female growth. I'm not too sure, but if you've read it, let me know. But Talking at Night by Claire Daveley is basically a normal people dupe, I believe. That's what people keep describing it as. It says, as the years roll on, Will and Rosie can't help but find their way back to each other. Time and time again, they have come close to rekindling what might have been. So it definitely sounds like normal people. How to Fall Out of Love Madly got 62% and Talking at Night got 38%. The book that is going on to my April TBR is How to Fall Out of Love Madly. Definitely am excited to read this one. It's kind of been sitting on my shelf just looking at me. I really wanted to pick it up, so I am excited to read it and I'll feedback on what I think about it. But I've been in the mood for more of this sort of emotional read recently about like character growth and stuff, so if you've got any recommendations for more books like this then let me know. The next pair of books we had were both from Frederick Backman. As I said, so we had Anxious People and A Man Called Over. Anxious People is about a hostage situation at an open house, so it's a bit of a random plot line, and all I know about A Man Called Over is it's about a grumpy old man called Ove, so I don't know too much about it, but I just know that I will enjoy any book that Frederick Backman puts out because his unique style of writing is just amazing, and I just love how he writes and how he explores difficult topics but really writes about them in a funny way so they don't feel as heavy when you've read his book. Anxious People ended up getting 68% while A Man Called Ove got 32%, so the book that is going on to my April TBR is Anxious People, but I think at some point I'm still going to read this book, maybe not in April, but it is still a short one, so I think I'll pick it up quite soon anyway. Then we have two romances, both of which I predict I'm going to rate really highly. So we have Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez and The X-Files by Jessica Joyce. Just Just for the Summer is about Justin and I think it's Emma. They both basically have this curse where they're with someone, and then once they've broken up with that person, or that person's broken up with them, that person then goes on to find the one. So Justin and Emma basically think that they're cursed, so they come together on a Reddit thread of all places, which I think is just hilarious. Basically decide to fake date and then break up with each other, and it will cancel out each other's curses. So I know a lot of people have said that they love this book. I think it's definitely more of an emotional read than you think. It looks like a cute book for the summer, and then it ends up that you're crying. So X-Files by Jessica Joyce, which I think is obviously two exes come together, and it's at a wedding. Something happens at the wedding that means it's a disaster, so they have to work together to get everything back on track. So I absolutely love weddings in books, and I love a second chance romance, so I think again either one of these I'm probably gonna like. The Summer ended up getting 43% and the X-Files ended up getting 57%. So the X-Files will be going on to my April TBR, which I'm so excited about, and this is really highly anticipated for me, and I really think that I'm gonna like it. I did actually include it in a video not that long ago on my TikTok where I said I predicted this one's gonna be a 5-star, so that's a high praise. So we're going to come back and see whether it is a 5-star or not. We have two mystery thrillers. So we have Never Lie by Frida McFadden and The Only One Left by Riley Sager. There was a family that was massacred decades ago, and there was only one survivor, Lenora. So Lenora now wants to tell her story because everybody thinks that she was the mass murderer. So her living caregiver brings her a typewriter, and Lenora starts writing out the story. So it basically is everything that happened on that night or on the run up to it, so it sounds really intriguing. Then we have Never Lie by Frida McFadden, a newly married couple, and they're looking for their dream house. So they go to move in and they find this manor, and it used to belong to a psychiatrist. The psychiatrist just vanished with no trace years ago. The couple come across loads of transcripts from the psychiatrist, and they start piecing together this mysterious disappearance. So it just sounds amazing, and I think I'm going to love either of them anyway, but I absolutely love Frida McFadden's writing, and it just goes so quick, and she always has so many plot twists, so either one I think I'm going to love. The Only One Left ended up getting 38% and Never Lie got 62%. So Never Lie is the one that's going on to our April TBR. The last pairing we had was Legendary and Throne of Glass. Legendary is the second one in the Caraval series. If you don't know what Caraval is, it's basically an annual game that happens on a remote island, and in the first book, sisters Donatella and Scarlett both enter into Caraval, but when Scarlett arrives on the island, she realises that Donatella is missing. Donatella is basically the thing or the prize or whatever the contestants in this year's game of Caraval have to go and find, and whoever finds her first earns a wish. So Scarlett is scrambling around to try and find her sister, and you just don't know what's real and what's not because it's really whimsical, and you're following Scarlett's point of view, so she doesn't know what's real, so there's a lot of plot twists and stuff towards the end. You have hints towards the end of what might happen in this book, so I loved Caraval, so I'm really excited to continue the series if I get to. But yeah, I don't know too much about what this specific book is about, and I don't want to. I just want to go in blind. That's kind of what I did with Caraval. I kind of knew the premise but didn't really know what was going to happen in there, so I kind of want to just do that. I feel like that's the best way with fantasy books sometimes. Then we have Throne of Glass, which I don't feel like I need to go through. I feel like everybody kind of knows what Throne of Glass is. It's a massive fantasy series. I have read Assassin's Blade. I did want to read that one first, which I am glad I did, because I do feel like certain things definitely would have been ruined if I'd have read the rest of the series first. So yeah, I am glad that I read Assassin's Blade first, but it kind of left me wanting to read more. Throne of Glass only ended up getting 32%. Legendary ended up getting 68%. So Legendary is going on to my April TBR, even though I really wanted to read Throne of Glass because it's been on my mind all the time. So I do think I probably will pick this up at some point in the month of April, depending on how much of my April TBR I get through. But this one has definitely been on my mind, so I might switch it out. I know that's cheating. I make the rules, but this one's been on my mind all the time. So yeah, I do definitely want to get to this one at some point and some point soon. Now we've gone through which of the ones won, let's run down my April TBR. So we have Welcome to Fae Cafe, How to Fall Out of Love Madly, Anxious People by Frederick Backman, The X-Files by Jessica Joyce, Never Lie by Frida McFadden, and Legendary by Stephanie Garber. So we have a good range of books, I think. We have a couple of fantasies, we have a mystery thriller, we have a romance, we have some fiction. So I do feel like I did pick a good range. I think will help me read through my whole TBR. I think when I have too many of the same, I just don't end up getting through it because I'm looking for other stuff to read. So I think I have high hopes that I'm going to complete a lot of these books. Thank you so much if you took part in voting over on my Instagram. If you want to be part of future votes, then my Instagram is always linked down below, along with my other socials and my Vinted. Anything book related is all linked down below in the description, and always is if you ever want to check it out. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope to see you in another one super soon.